trick with personal development is that self improvement doesn't ever really end up as a checkbox on your to do list.
Welcome to Breakthrough Mode, the podcast where we intentionally get into the driver's seat of our lives, shift out of monotony and mediocrity, and step on the gas towards becoming the person we were always meant to become.
Hello, and welcome to episode 249 on the Breakthrough Mode podcast. I am your host, Megan Bauer. Thank you so much for joining me and pushing play on today's episode. Today, I am bringing you a brilliant observation that one of my best friends brought to me one evening while we were chatting at Starbucks. And it was one of those things that as soon as I heard it, it hit that part of my brain that is labeled future podcast episodes. And I knew that I would be bringing it to you as soon as the time was right. And today, my friends, the time is right. I have been really pondering on this problem that I see in personal development. And it is what I was talking about last Friday in episode 246. So if you missed that one, these two episodes might feel like they go together. But the idea here is that oftentimes we know what to do, we know better, and yet we aren't doing better. We aren't doing what it is that we know to do. And the trick with personal development is that, self-improvement doesn't ever really end up as a checkbox on your to-do list. You've got a whole list that's full of house tasks and work tasks and reaching out to this person and getting that taken care of and whatever it is. Got a whole list full of those things. And yet, personal development, which could arguably make you more effective at all of the things on your list, doesn't actually make it on the list because it's it's a beingness. You are either being how you know to be or you're not. It's not necessarily a task on the list. It's not like, was I nice today? Yes or no. Did I move in the direction of my becoming? Yes or no. Did I do that today? It's not something that you can quantify. It's very much a feeling, especially at first, as you are, becoming and you don't have a whole lot of outward evidence. It is very much an inner experience that then your outer reality shifts to match. So it's this amorphous thing. They're concepts, they're ideas, they're ways to show up, they're ways to think of things, their perspective shifts. All of these things, which will help you improve and become and support you on your journey, are abstract. And your to-do list is often filled with things that are very concrete. Is it done? Yes or no. So personal development often falls in that category of, I know so much about it, and yet the implementation is lacking. The actual moving into the experience of this way of being, of this improvement, of truly becoming feels really vague. And so as I was considering this problem in personal development, this observation that my friend brought to me that evening came to my mind very powerfully. She said, "You don't do what you don't plan for." Now, my friend is an incredible coach for teachers, and she gives her teachers this observation in an effort to help them plan for different situations that students can fall into. So when it comes to teaching a concept, there will be students who struggle with it and don't get it. There will be the students who get it perfect, and there will be students who get it and they're ready for more. So she teaches her teachers to plan for all of these different situations that they will encounter so that the teacher can support their students no matter which situation they fall into. Me, being me, I take this and I apply this same observation, this same concept to personal development. You don't do what you don't plan for. As far as developing yourself personally, if you don't have an intention in your face and a plan, like a concrete plan that you can really more or less check off, it's going to keep personal development in this abstract, amorphous, did I do it? Did I not? Sort of space. And in order to actually take what you learn, take what you know, and implement it, you have to be aware of it. You have to be conscious of it. You have to be intentional about it. And you have to plan for it, in essence, because you don't do what you don't plan for. And that is a very easy concept to understand. We get that. If you don't plan for dinner, you're still going to have dinner, but it's going to be a scramble, or maybe you won't. That would be my cop out. I'd be like, well, I didn't plan for it. I guess I'm not eating tonight. And if you don't plan the family vacation, you don't go on a family vacation. If you don't plan to show up and meet your friend, you don't show up and meet your friend. If you don't plan to start the habit, you don't start the habit. If you don't plan to improve in some way, you likely will continue on in much the same way. So then here's where this gets really overwhelming, right? When my friend gives this observation to her teachers, there's the narrow focus, right? You're going to have kids who don't get it, kids who get it, and kids get it and beyond. So here's 3 situations, plan for them. However, with personal development, it feels a little bit like a truckload of bricks falling on you because you're like, well, I am lacking in so many areas. How in the world do I tackle all of these at once? This is a full-time job, and I also have a full-time job, and I have a family, and I have friends, and and blah, 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 right? So it feels like, where do I even begin? This is so overwhelming. And here's what I would encourage for you. What's the most painful thing? What's the thing that you keep encountering in your life that if you could just improve this one thing, it's going to give you exponential benefits? What's the one painful thing in your life that if you outgrew it would help you have a happier, less stressful, more joy-filled, more peaceful experience? That's where I would start if you were asking me. And I see this opportunity here as I have put myself in this place to bring you all of the information, right? The hows, this is how you improve, this is how you become, this is a path, this is a practice. I have really done everything that I could think of, or everything that's come to my mind as a thing to do to bring to you to help you in your journey of becoming. Except I have not ever given you a guided plan of implementation. I've given you guidelines. I've been like, this is what you should do if you want this kind of result. This is a plan of action that you could adopt. These are suggestions. I encourage you to. All of these things have come up. I have said all of these things in hopes that you take them and you figure out how to put them on your to-do list and you figure out how to implement them so that you can improve, so that you can continue on in your journey of becoming. However, I never actually put myself in the position to guide you step by step directly. Now, of course, if you want to work straight away on your most painful thing, that would be very personalized, and that would be something that we could work on together one on one. However, for a more general personal development plan, here's what I have done. Every single week, starting on Mondays, I will introduce to you a weekly theme. And I'll introduce the theme. I'll give you a little nudge on how to get started. I'm going to continue talking about this theme in the email that comes out on Tuesday. I'm going to give a little story, a little life lesson, gives you some insight into my day to day. On Wednesday, I'm going to continue the theme with how I am working through this aspect of personal development. On Thursday, I will very soon be implementing an opportunity to do live streams, live coaching with me on Thursday. I don't have the details for that quite yet, but if you're on my email list, you'll be the first to know the when and the where. But live coaching on Thursday will very soon be a regular thing. And then, of course, on Friday, I'm going to do a full-length teaching on that week's theme about how it all connects, why it's important, why it matters. And on Saturday, I'll wrap it all up with journal reflection exercises to help you process, to help you dream bigger, to help you really integrate that week's theme into your daily life. And this will help you bring personal development into one of those things that you are continually doing, so that when it comes to at least that week and at least that theme, it's not something that you just know better. It's something that you know and are acting on. It's something that you are experiencing in your life. And I'm here to support you both on the podcast and in the emails, and very soon live coaching in some form as I get the details of that last piece put together. So every single week, week by week, we will find ourselves moving closer to who it is we want to become through implementation, actual implementation on each weekly theme. Now, I get it. This has you going to a lot of places for all the things, and I am going to address that as well. I will bring this all together where you can find it all in one place with a nice, pretty bow. But for now, you're going to get it in all of the places as I figure it out and as I bring it together for you, so that it is truly supportive, so that you are truly guided through your journey of improvement and through your journey of becoming who it is you want to become. Now, these weekly themes will be highly influenced, at least starting out, by the natural rhythms that we find ourselves in at the time. Here's what I mean by this. As of recording this, it is April 1st, and we are starting to get into that feeling of spring cleaning and decluttering and organizing and airing things out and a refresh and a reset. That is part of our natural rhythm. And so I'm leaning into that right now. April is going to be all about this reset and refresh as it connects to who you are becoming. This all kicks off on Monday. Monday will be a different Monday morning with Megan as we switch the cadence of this. and it's going to be awesome. So on Monday, I'll introduce the week's theme, and you will be able to be supported all week long on actual implementation of this theme. You don't do what you don't plan for. So if you don't have a personal development plan in place, I am handing you one. I am handing you one step by step. You can follow along with me and everyone else. Feel supported, feel guided, feel like you're making progress towards who it is you want to become, because I am me, and everything that I do ties back to this extremely important concept of becoming and intentional becoming. Every theme that I can bring to you will be tied to you becoming who it is you are meant to become. Because that is the point of everything to me. That is the absolute point. It's not personal development just for funsies. It's not improvement just because we can. It's improvement and personal development in a direction, in an intentional direction, into for us to step into who it is we want to become, be that version of ourselves. So, my guided journey all week long, every single week, will be with that aim in mind. We start on Monday, and I encourage you to get on my email list if you are not already, because right now the content is going to come at you through the podcast on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and through the emails on Tuesday and on Saturday, with a live stream somewhere on Thursday when I get that figured out. But it'll be so much easier to let you know where the live stream is via email than to wait for the podcast episode, since these are recorded and scheduled and done in advance, and I can send an email in my pajamas on a Wednesday night if I need to. So I am figuring that piece out. I am figuring out how this is all going to come together and live together in a nice, cohesive way with a nice, pretty bow on it. But for now, this is where everything will be. And as it evolves, it will get better. You don't do what you don't plan for. I am handing you a guided, supported personal development plan week by week. And I hope you'll join me. I totally love you. Bye for now.